وبدعو أستاذ رشيد الجهيري Senior Consultant Clarivate Analytics.
All right. So thank you, Hiba. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Rashid Johari from Clarivate Analytics. Some people might have known us under a different name, which is Thomson Reuters company. We're still the same company doing the same products, trying to develop them, but under a different name. So just for you to know, in 2017, the intellectual property and science business of Thomson Reuters has been spinned out to different investors. So that's why we appear here today under, under a different name. But generally speaking, Clarivate and our products have always been part of the EKB system and EKB ecosystem since its inception. I would say the part that is really differentiating here is the focus of our products and services on not only quality research, but on something that is called innovation. You all know that there's a difference between doing research and getting to innovation. Innovation is when when the outcome of your research is coming to impact the society. So basically, your product, your services, whatever you get out of that research comes to a market one day. You have to change people's life, and this is what the dynamic we're looking at. So, sorry, just been reverse way. So we have partnered with EKB on a lot of different aspects, not only bringing the data, but also teaching and helping the researchers on how to use that data effectively. What can that change in their way of dealing with that information and how to use it in their day-to-day work. So, most of the researchers are pretty familiar with the Web of Science and some of the indicators we might talk through. Basically, we try to find a way to evaluate and to measure what we are doing it forward. It's, this is what our products and our databases are actually built for. So through EKB, any Egyptian citizen can have access to most of the data we're talking about, and especially to the Web of Science collection. Not only to know what are the most prominent researchers or what the highly cited papers in a certain field, but also to understand the dynamic of that specific field. We have also, as I said, we are providing specific services around reporting and basically intelligence on doing that research. And I'd like to remind maybe what's been said during the president opening when he was talking about we want to invest in technology, but technology that is useful. I really like that because it's basically what we are pushing forward. We don't see anymore, and we don't want to see anymore, basically researchers doing research because they are researchers and because they have been trained only to do research. There has to be an impact. There has to be an outcome and a give back to the society at some point. So we help on that intelligence, on creating these roadmaps, understanding exactly I think there are around 125,000, 130,000 academic researchers, for example, in Egypt. Maybe all of you don't know that. But how does that, what's the real landscape in that? What are the core competencies we can have when having that number? We have done a couple of reports, and I can give you a few words on it. We do also, as I said, a lot of education, training. What does it mean to do quality research? Okay, what are the processes used into that? We also have, started introducing pure courses on intellectual property. In many technical fields, most of the research can actually be protected. Okay, and this is also an important, metric in assessing how innovative a research can be. We also, provide the most important information system, which is Converis, to manage basically the overall, research landscape in Egypt through EKB. And most importantly, and you've heard Dr. Shawki talking about it, is the Arabic Citation Index. So this is a project that has started this year and is going to last for the next 3 to 4 years to establish that great index for all the Arabic, the research that is published into Arabic. Oh, sorry, I just can't get it. So we talked about workshops. I'm mostly for the academic community. Most of them are around editorial, around quality research, ranking, and the last one also, which is the most important, is the innovation part. Okay, so how do we translate that again into into innovation? Well, the innovation part is only for the technical, I would say, colleges, medical, engineering, etc. Anything that could be basically, protected. These are some type of reports we have also delivered to help in the intelligent and how to assess the performance of the research going forward. We had an interesting report on demographics and gender mobility inside the research community here in Egypt, and also about an overall the patenting landscape. We know that, well, most of the academic institutes are not that familiar with patenting, but it's a tendency that is changing here as well. And Egypt has a core competency in life sciences. Medical is pretty important, and we see more and more research also in the medical devices part. The last, I would say, thing we might mention here is the interactive dashboard. So you can understand that all of this ecosystem needs, a certain way of managing that and having a view on it at any time. And we have developed that interactive dashboard, which just shows the analytical outcomes of every research program at a certain moment. We also helped during the last 3 years to give a better visibility to the Egyptian journals. Okay, I just want to mention here that when having more and more journals indexed in the Web of Science, and for example, starting from from 2015, we have now, for example, it might seem slow, but 6 journals from Egypt indexed in the gold collection of Web of Science. It might seem low to a lot of people who are out of the ecosystem, but that's a score. It's really a score. There's another 30 journals that also were accepted as part of a database of Web of Science and the ESCI. Also, the research output. All right, this is always an important element that we survey every year. What comes out and help in many strategies, not only guiding the program of the research, but also guiding how we publish. Where do we publish? Where is it more important for me to publish? It's not. Doing research is one thing. Selling the research is something different. So you have to have the right audience and use the right tools to be in the right space for competition. And we see many different impacts in that. Just to give you a figure, for example, so all the Egyptian research, if we talk about, we've seen a lot of things, about citations and impact, etc. A couple of years back, a paper coming out from Egypt would have between 25 to 30% less chance to be cited worldwide. If we talk about the average, level of citations, we're talking more about something between 5 to 10% today. So, which means definitely there is exposure. There is much more exposure. It's not only about the numbers. In the last 3 years, between 2015 to 2018, we're talking about more than 40,000 papers that were published, basically from Egypt. If we compare that number to what happened before, I mean, the increase is just phenomenal. So there's an increase in number, but there's also an increase in quality, and this is exactly the right trend. The little small element you might hear of, just because we spoke about innovation, something that did not happen before. We have about 1% of the overall publications that are conducted along with the industry. All right. I mean, it might seem once again very small, but it's a very important step, which means that the research, once again, is also able to be exported outside. And this is how we start actually impacting the real economy and impacting the real society. I think that's it. Oh, sorry. All right, thank you.